Show me your thinking pattern, then I'll tell you who you truly are. Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today, we just want to continue our series on critical thinking. And as you can see, we are going to just be rounding it off with think. Think. Today, we want to examine the real critical thinking. Now, when we're talking about critical thinking, the most important word in that is just one word, and that's think. Critical is just describing how you should think, and then ing is also just trying to make it a gerund. But what we are looking at is think. Now, you cannot rise above your thinking process. Of course, the scripture has said it that as a man thinks, so is he. You are just the physical representation of your thought pattern. That position where you find yourself now, that situation where you find yourself now, that thing you are doing now is not by accident. Check it. Your thinking process have accepted it. Now, there are different ways. It's either it was thought for you and you accepted it because you refuse to think, and then the only thinking you could just have is just the thinking of accepting, or because you have just thought about it so many years and then you are finding yourself there. Sitting here this moment and talking to you is not by an accident. This is a product of many thoughts that eventually, I mean, if I need to tell you what led into this, you realize that I've been thinking about it for years. Okay, how do I come back with what I used to do in 2021 and the rest? And then today we have this. This is a product of thought. Do you think I just came here and didn't have any challenges here and there, people trying to encourage or discourage? No, but I have to stand on a particular platform that no, this is what I want to do. I have thought it through. I have this encouragement. I have this backing. So the same thing in your life too. That place where you found yourself, or you think you want to become a teacher, you need to also even examine that thought. Do you think you want to become a teacher because of your passion, or because you are there is something about it just feels that okay, no, I should go in this particular direction. I think it is easier. I think I don't really want to, there is a thought process into that. And if your thought process is not genuine, you are going to end up in frustration. So finally here, before we go into the framework we want to look at today, you are just the product of your thought. So if you want to change your life, then you need to start changing your thinking process, your thinking pattern, and how you're thinking about life. This morning, this afternoon, this evening, depending on where you are and what time it is where you are, we want to look at the think now as a framework that will guide our thought process. And we're going to be looking at THINK, think. The first one you need to check when you are thinking is test all assumptions. When you are thinking, you just want to think and then accept assumption. They are promising you a whole lot of things in the organization. Come in, we are going to do A, B, C for you. Don't let it be based on assumption. I mean, I remember getting a job sometimes and then they say, no, just come in first, just come in first. No, just come in, you will come, you will see, you will see. I don't want to see. Can we put it in pen and paper? Can we agree first? I don't want to assume that, oh, no, because you look like this outside, this is how it is. And many of us also need to also come out of that trap. If you don't want to be trapped, then you need to test all assumptions and then be sure you are not being trapped. How do you test assumptions? Ask a question, why, how? Just ask proper question. Ask yourself, when you put this scientifically, does it really make sense? Let me give you an example. Somebody once asked me to give certain amount of money so I can get double of it. The only question I ask is, in real economy, does it work? What business are you going to do with my money that will yield times two in a space of 1 month? And by the time I started questioning that, they left me alone and went with their own business. Secondly, hack down your hidden biases. When you are thinking and you don't, you find yourself tilting more emotionally in one direction, you need to be sure that you are not working with your bias. Now, what do we mean? We are all from different backgrounds. And as I'm sitting down now, the way I'm dressed now, the way I'm talking now, it's all guided most likely by my culture, by my orientation, by what I have read, by my religion, and so many things. So at times we make decisions not because that's the original thing we really want to do, but because we are guided by our culture or our religion. So there are some interesting decisions you want to make. You need to ask yourself, that job you want to take, that place you are going, that friend you are keeping, that relationship you are going into, is it guided by rational thinking, or it has already been biased by my religion, by certain opinions here and there? So you want to hack it down. Don't forget T, test. H, there, hack down hidden biases. I there stands for investigate different perspectives. Don't just stay on one perspective when you want to make a decision. Critical thinking demands that you investigate different perspectives. Okay, seek opinions of others. Ask them questions. Okay, in this particular situation, what do you think I can do? If you don't even have anything to do with human being, pick books and read. Search online. Okay, I want to think like this. I mean, just search online, seek opinions. Before you know it, you see that you are making a robust decision. Many of us, we've been saved by from making nasty decisions just because we ask the right question at the right time, and then we could see things from another person's perspective, and that saved us a whole lot. And there, notice nuances. Okay, check it out. Notice nuances when decisions are brought your way. Be very subtle to look for cues, some inconsistencies, some contradiction in information given to you. Read in between. I remember an organization had invited me for something and then they promised ABC, but I noticed when they sent the contract, what they promised with words were not written in paper. I had to call their attention. No, we need to be very consistent here and then we need to write everything down. Ask me that question. Did I stay long or did I stay even take the job at all? Maybe I think no is the answer there. So you need to just consider a whole lot of inconsistency and contradictions. So once you start seeing that some things are not being consistent, then you want to rethink. So notice nuances, okay? Analyze their body language. They may say you're a deep thinker. Don't worry. It's better to be a deep thinker than to be a no thinker. It is far better to be a deep thinker than to be a no thinker. With time, you start adjusting. We are going to the next one, which is K. Know when to question. Know when to question. Develop what we call a healthy deep thinking nature, a healthy skepticism, where you don't just take things, give yourself a reason to doubt it a little bit. Oh, this thing is sold for 20,000 naira. You want to ask, okay, can I still get this for something lower than that? Don't just take everything hook, line, and sinker. Okay, don't accept information on the face value. Always ask for the validity and the reliability of that information. Acknowledge also when you are thinking, you under know when to question. Acknowledge that you don't know it all. You also want to learn and refine your thought quickly. So let's quickly jump into our reflection. What are you supposed to do today? Use this framework today to guide your decision. Even the ones you have made, use this framework to ask yourself, have I made my decision very well? Did I test? Did I hack down biases? Did I investigate perspectives? Did I notice nuances? Did I also know when to question? When you do that, be sure that with time, you get better with your thinking. You become an expert, and people even come looking for you, asking you to help them solve their problems. So let's quickly take our words of affirmation this morning. As we say this week, we always start with I'm a critical thinker. So start with me today. I am a critical thinker. I have the power to analyze. I have the power to analyze information. I have the power to question assumption and I form my own informed opinion. I embrace challenges to explore different perspectives and to cultivate a growth mindset. My thinking is guided by curiosity, wisdom, and commitment to truth. Yes, thank you so much for joining this morning. I really thank you, your encouragement. I mean, today night I can see so many people joining this morning. Thank you so much. We see again next week where we're going to be looking at entrepreneurial thinking. This is just the foundation for what we are going to be looking at next week. How to become an entrepreneurial thinker, how to approach your job as an entrepreneur, where you are going to be really making profit out of it, and then you're going to be above in the game. So we'll see you next week. Hopefully, of course, we are going to see by the grace of God next week where we're going to be looking at that topic. Please promise me one thing. You are going to enjoy a weekend. You're going to rest very well. And I promise you the same thing too. I'm going to rest very well. Thank you for joining and thank you for being a teacher. You are highly celebrated.